Hello, Mommy's World for you and me. How's everyone doing? Enjoying winters and delicacies all around. Traveling, lot many people I heard, and yes, I have also traveled and had good vacation. Time to get back to some serious things and some important things. Important is Mommy's World, and lot many times we talk about kids, and kids means their immunity, their digestive systems and related to lot many things gives us worries. So yes, by the time everybody is joining, I would like to introduce today we have Dr. Divyang, who is an MBBS, MD, IFPCC, MD, PAAOO. Yes. Hello, Dr. Divyang Pathak. How are you?
Yeah, hello. I'm good. I'm fine, totally.
Okay, a warm welcome at Mommy's World for you and me. And we look forward for today's session because you have got us very interesting topic today. And there have been lot many times that even we moms are do not have answers about the colic, the gas, and the problems little infants have. Their lot many things that they face, like we are going to put lot many questions to you, the kind of because their digestive tract is very delicate, and we all need to know how can we promote their digestive digestion, and how can we help them. So yes, first of all I would like to know, what do you think that how baby's digestive system matures?
Yeah, to start with, it's a very right question to start with.
Yeah.
And to start with, I'll be briefing around for some time. How does the digestive system of a baby develops and how does it matures? So
Hmm.
that a brief concept will be made, which we can build up on and it can answer and proper
Hmm.
understandings can be made of the
Yeah.
child.
Hmm.
So when the baby is born, initially the intestines are totally raw and they are not exposed to the
Yeah.
external environment. And when they start
Hmm.
breastfeeding, then there is exposure of certain bacteria and fungi to the gut,
Hmm.
and this development of or start of maturation of gut bacteria
Hmm.
into the intestines is very necessary because it will be the base of formation of the whole gut
Hmm.
microbiota or gut microbiome, which we call as which is very important, as also called as a second brain of a child or of
Okay.
any. So it is very important. And now during this part of phase, when the during the development, when as the child start having milk and
Hmm.
feeds, these microbes and bacteria grow, and they
Hmm.
are friendly in nature with our intestines, and thus they are called probiotics. So
Okay.
these are the bacteria which are called probiotics, and the duration between we these probiotics are formed,
Hmm.
certain changes in intestines occur, which
Hmm.
causes pain in abdomen. Now this
Okay.
is the pain which we call as colic pain, and
Okay.
this is now the message is to say that this colic pain is natural and
Hmm.
this is part of development of a child. It
Hmm.
is not abnormal. So treat it as a natural thing, like a
Hmm.
burp, like everything else.
Hmm.
You treat this as a natural thing, and
Hmm.
don't try to give too much of medications to subside that. It will
Okay.
automatically subside down. And
Hmm.
there are few tricks and tips to make your night some less miserable.
Hmm.
Anyways, it will be. But
Yeah.
but further, this is the main concept behind the colic pain. And
Hmm.
after that, when after 6 months of age, because I'm considering that the child is having exclusive breast milk or formula milk till 6 months of age, and after
Hmm.
that, when we start weaning food and we introduce external foods,
Yeah.
other food stuffs into the child, then the
Hmm.
diversification of these bacteria occur, and the more
Hmm.
large basket of bacteria grow into the intestines, and this
Hmm.
totally form a microbiota, a microbiome, which actually helps in fighting with the immunity, development of brain, proper digestion, reducing the
Hmm.
allergies, and there are a lot of functions. So it is very
Hmm.
important. And the kind of food which, because the source of these bacteria and are basically the natural foods we eat or we give to the
Hmm.
child. So the kind
Yeah.
of food which we give is very important, and the which manner which we give is important. So now,
Hmm.
slightly going further, at till 12 month of age, we
Hmm.
expect the child should have been weaned in such manner that
Hmm.
all kind of foods which we have can be given to the child at 1 year of age.
Right.
Thus, can be said that at 1 year of age, the gut maturation is completed, and
Hmm.
the gut is primed in such a manner that totally the maturation is completed by 1 year of age, which
Hmm.
happens in a normal child.
I want to ask very simple question just popped up in my mind, and many a times in the group we discuss the infants, like when they are growing, when they start crawling, they are going here to there, they are tend to put lot many things in their mouth, which leads to kind of problems in tummy, and then we are worried what to do, we run to doctors. So how do we understand the kind of is this a bacteria or kind of a thing, because there are times we are connected globally in mommy's world. So
Okay.
if a mother is connecting in mommy's world in the night, probably we do not have any professional awake that time. So what do you suggest in instant action can be taken?
No, see, instant action, all the instant actions doesn't mean that it has to be because medicines and these things cannot, you cannot start your own. It is not
Yeah.
advisable to be started
Huh.
by
No,
your own
I just reframe my question, like how to identify if the problem child is facing is an infection or a small, bacteria, or can be solved itself day after tomorrow, kind of a thing.
So I guess I'll reframe your question. It is like
Yeah.
how to identify why,
Yes.
what is the problem, when, and what are the signs.
Yes.
A mother can identify my baby
Yes.
is not well with the gut
Yeah.
or with the
Yeah.
digestion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
actually there are several things. According to the age, things will change.
Okay.
Initially, when if the baby is totally breastfed and below
Hmm.
6 months of age,
Hmm.
most of the things are normal.
Okay.
Like uh, there are many things like hiccups are there, slight
Huh.
spitting of milk, coming of
Milk.
milk
Yeah.
from the mouth in every now and then, yeah, or after every feed. These are not. This
Hmm.
is normal. Farting
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
normal.
Hmm.
Burpings are normal.
Yes.
So don't consider this as a vomiting. So
Yeah.
if and one more thing is that the child or baby can pass
Hmm.
stool or lose stools from 15 to 20 times in one day,
Hmm.
or one
Hmm.
time in 10 days. This also
Yeah.
comes into a normal variation.
Okay.
So, this, like most of the babies who are small, below 6 months of age, or
Hmm.
on breastfeeding,
Hmm.
mostly suffer that most of the common, there are more common queries, and which comes into a normal variation. Like
Hmm.
the child have not passed stool for 2 days or 3 days, and also
Yes.
having colic pain
Yes.
at night. Now the
Hmm.
mother is panicking that either 3 दिन से stool नहीं हुआ
हुआ
है
नहीं हुआ
और
नहीं है.
पेन भी बहुत हो
Right.
रहा है. What to do now? What to do? So
Hmm.
you have to consider that if the child is totally on breast milk, then no need to worry. You just have to see three things in your child: that
Hmm.
whether the child is feeding well,
Hmm.
after feeding whether he is calming down, and is he urinating well, that is 8 to 10 times minimum per day. If
Okay.
these three things are fulfilling, then your child is fine. Don't worry. He will pass stools, and the colic I'll discuss later how to deal with
Hmm.
colic.
Hmm.
And other thing is that the what is the consistency of the stools. The
Hmm.
stool can be loose, stool can be hard, but in totally exclusively breast milk child, these things do occur and it's normal, and
Hmm.
these can vary. But in formula fed milk, mostly if we overfeed the child, then the constipation is a worry, because
Hmm.
constipation occurs as a side effect of formula milk, because breast milk is considered very
Hmm.
too good.
Hmm.
Formula milk is not that much gut friendly as
Yeah.
breast milk, and thus too much of formula milk can induce constipation. But if it
Hmm.
is inducing constipation, then you can uh, either you reduce the formula milk, or if the child is not allowing you to reduce the milk due to hunger, you can consult your pediatrician and get a suppository, and you can put suppositories, or you get a 2 to 3 suppositories at your home. If you feel on formula
Hmm.
milk the child is having a problem, distended
Hmm.
stomach, or he is feeding less and he is
Hmm.
constipated, then you can
Hmm.
give a suppository as per
Hmm.
your pediatrician direction. But
Hmm.
after 6 months, there are many things like
Hmm.
the color of stool. The color of stool, if it is greenish or blackish,
Hmm.
then it is abnormal. If it is foul smelling, then it is abnormal. If
Hmm.
it is mucus or sticky, then it is abnormal. If the fart is getting more and more smelly, then it is abnormal. If the child is continuously vomiting, then it's abnormal. If the child is having abdominal distension, then it is abnormal. So these things are there. You can know by these things that the digestion system or digestive system not there, something is problem. So
Hmm.
during 4 to 8 months, their teething starts, and at that time, as you said, that most of the child take many things to the mouth, and
Yeah.
there are higher chances of getting gastrointestinal or
Hmm.
gut infections. So at
Hmm.
that time, if the child is passing loose stools or uh, mild fever, it is not very foul smelling, or just loose stools with not too much of uh, crankiness, then it is mostly viral. Or if the child is having foul smelling and sticky
Hmm.
stool, then
Hmm.
it is definitely bacterial infection. Then you have to go for antibiotics. So if this is the indication, then you should be alarmed that my need or the child needs to be treated of
Hmm.
this. In breast milk, totally exclusive breast milk, greenish milk, these stools are normal or can
Hmm.
be normal. But in the rest other cases, there has to be some problem.
Dr. Divyank, I almost traveled 7 years back, like by Sunny's 8 years now, and everything you were talking about the stool and this mucus and then formula milk, everything, I almost traveled, in my flashback, and everything, came clear. So yes, this is a very important thing because I'm very sure the mothers are going to watch this who are not able to watch it now. This is something I would push it across कि सब लोग देख लें ये चीज. So what you suggest, डॉक्टर, like you said कि 6 months के बाद में हम लोग सॉलिड स्टार्ट करते हैं बच्चे को, तो how do you suggest they should start, because mother also need to eat. Somebody has also asked mother, what mother need to eat to improve the gut health of a baby.
Okay, so this is two things: what mother need to eat and what child
Yeah,
need to eat.
yeah, yeah.
So, mother for mothers, it is actually mother can eat anything,
Hmm.
and it should be more caloric value, because you need to produce milk for the child
Yes.
itself, and
Yeah.
you have to bear the growth of the child with your
Hmm.
intake. So
Hmm.
mother can eat. Obviously, mother should eat healthy foods.
Hmm.
More of calorie-rich diet and protein-rich diet should be there.
Hmm.
So ghee and dry fruits and
Hmm.
laddu and everything which is
Hmm.
available, everything you can eat. There's no restriction in that.
Okay.
You can totally free yourself and don't. And the precautions is that today in today's world they are cautious of weight gain after deliveries. So that is a major
Yeah.
concern on
Yeah. Yeah.
breast feeding, because
Hmm.
yet at first 6 to 7 months or 8 months you don't need to take care of your weight, because
Hmm.
your baby is totally dependent on you, and you will be responsible if your baby's growth is not there because of
Hmm.
not producing much of milk. if you are
Right.
neglecting your diet. So you
Yeah.
have to take proper diet. Coming to the child,
Hmm.
after 6 months, there is a certain regime, which basic regime concept, which has to
Hmm.
be followed very well. And
Hmm.
if it is followed, then most of the problem is not there.
Hmm.
You will not face any problem, I think. So,
Okay.
first, after 6 months, you will start with dal,
Hmm.
not dal ka pani, because
Hmm.
dal ka pani is not a nutritive source. Now, the concept why 6 months is chosen is that till 6 months of age, the
Hmm.
mother's milk can take care of the growth of the child or the nutritive
Hmm.
value of the child growth. After 6 months of age, the growth is growing. The growth of the child is getting so
Hmm.
fast that
Hmm.
the nutritive value by the breast milk is not completed, and thus we
Hmm.
have to give another nutritive. We have to add another
Hmm.
nutritive value food.
Hmm.
So you have to add nutritive value food. So dal
Hmm.
ka pani is not doesn't have any nutrition. So give dal, mash it, make it semi-solid. Now, what is the
Hmm.
consistency? It should, when you put it into the spoon and you tilt it, it should go
Hmm.
down slowly. Okay, this should be
Okay.
the
Yeah.
consistency
Huh.
of the
Huh.
food to start with.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when we start with the food, introduce
Hmm.
the food one by one, so
Hmm.
that the science behind that this is that at this point of time the child is also recognizing the taste. Now, if the
Hmm.
child let the child have
Hmm.
adequate time, 2 to 3 days at
Yeah.
least, to with one
Hmm.
food, so that he can or she can recognize the taste of that food.
Hmm.
After that, you introduce next is we should introduce some dal protein source and fibrous sources also, like
Hmm.
uh, apple or apple ki puree. You can make a boiled
अच्छा.
apple and make
Hmm.
apple puree.
Yes.
Other
Yes.
things are also like suji ka kheer. You can make that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
these things should can be started at first month. You can add yogurt also, or you can add curd also.
Hmm.
Uh, it should be taken into consideration that in winter season, you no need to worry about the curd. Okay, this is
अच्छा.
something opposite I'm saying, which
अच्छा.
in the mommy's group maybe the discussion is opposite.
Yeah.
The you need no need to worry about curd or any food product in the winters, because there
Hmm.
is no exceptions. You just have to take care of the temperature of the food. It should not be cold.
Hmm.
It should be warm. If the dahi is also warm, then it will work fine.
I was about to say this because like हमारे यहाँ यही कहा जाता है इंडिया में कि द वर्ड इज तासीर, कि दही का तासीर बहुत ठंडा होता है, तो बच्चे को नहीं दिया जाना चाहिए, स्पेशली विंटर्स तो फॉरगेट इट, तो यू
Yeah,
से कि दे सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल, because the curd is the best source of probiotic,
Hmm.
and it will definitely increase the good bacteria inside the stomach or
Hmm.
intestines. So it should be promoted. And after 6 months, you can add different kind of foods. Now,
Hmm.
here is a catch that when after 6 months, you don't have to increase the amount of milk.
Hmm.
You just have to increase the amount of food to
Hmm.
consider the or to make your satiety center or the hunger
Hmm.
satisfied
Hmm.
of the
Hmm.
child. Now,
Hmm.
the mistake what moms or mothers do, that when the child doesn't refuse the food
Hmm.
initially, they in order to satisfy the child of because of the hunger, they
Hmm.
increase the milk, and they keep on doing that in next to 2 or 3
Yes.
months. Now,
Yeah.
because of this, the milk is increased and the outside nutritive value, the foods
Hmm.
which we have to give is decreased. Now the
Hmm.
growth will be hampered, and this will also create constipation.
Oh.
So increase in milk will create constipation. Now here the basic thing is that we don't have to increase the milk more.
Hmm.
You just
Hmm.
stick with the milk, or if you're breastfeeding, then breastfeed as the per the child's request.
Hmm.
But you have to consider that you have to feed child external complementary feeding 3 to 4 times at least. You have to give food to the child, and then you can increase some quantity further. Now, further we'll stepping up in 7 month or 8 month,
Hmm.
we have to consider that we have to introduce a lot of fibers
Yes.
apart from protein, carbohydrate, and fat,
Hmm.
because fiber are the main source of prebiotics.
Hmm.
Now, what are prebiotics? Prebiotics are the food for the bacteria or for the probiotics. The bacteria which we grow inside the intestines need some
Hmm. Hmm.
certain foods which are provided by certain food products which we eat. Now, those food products are bananas
Hmm.
or green leafy vegetables or other fruits or onions or garlic.
This
Now,
is you're
these are
talking for seventh month. You're talking about,
the sources of prebiotic. We
but
can
we can start. Yeah.
introduce it into the
Yeah.
7 month.
Hmm.
Now, this is because I don't want to give a specific diet chart for a
Hmm.
uh, particular mother, because every
Hmm.
child is different, every
Yes.
child taste will differ, and
Hmm.
every child, every region, the food
Yes.
products differ. So
Hmm.
there has to be a concept made into the mind of the mother so that they
Hmm.
can blend with their region, and they
Yes.
can blend with the child, because
Hmm.
it's not necessary that if I say suji, then the
Hmm.
child will be like suji.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you
Right.
didn't like it, then you have to have other options.
Right.
So
Right.
I cannot say all the names of the all the foods. It is
Hmm.
not possible. But
Hmm. No, I get that.
we need
Yeah.
to have a concept around here that
Hmm.
apart from main basic carbohydrates and these things like oats or other thing we can introduce,
Hmm.
these are rich in fibers. We can introduce any fruits in 7 month or 8 month. We should introduce green leafy vegetables also. We
Hmm.
should the main dictum is that mash everything, mix everything.
Hmm.
Don't add sugar. Don't add salt at this point of
Yes.
time.
Hmm.
Sugar should be added only after 12 months, and slight
Hmm.
amount of salt can be added after 8 to 9 months to give a
Okay.
certain taste. Uh, so, if this is like slightly as we increase, we diversify our food, and we make sure that the fiber content is appropriate. Now, what are the
Hmm.
fiber? What are the food for fiber content? And prebiotics are the green leafy vegetables. So, whatever green you see
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
vegetables are green leafy vegetables. Uh, Second are the fruits. Any
Hmm.
fruit you can give. Basically, bananas do help too
Hmm.
much. So, any fruits you can add.
Hmm.
You should assess the taste of the child, what he is liking or she is liking, and you can mix up things very well so that he
Okay.
can take it. And other thing is that you should also introduce water after 6 months of age, and you should certainly increase the amount of water also, because that is also very necessary to prevent constipation in your child. If you are giving adequate amount of water, adequate amount of fibers, adequate amount of uh, uh, fruits, and adequate amount of green leafy vegetables, I assure you the child will not have constipation, provided you don't increase the amount of milk. The next thing is that the target should be that at 12 month of age, the
Hmm.
food products, whatever you should pace up the addition of different kind of food products in such a way that at 12 months of age, he should be able or she should be able to eat any kind of food which we
Hmm.
eat. Whether
Hmm.
it is obviously it should be in the mashed form or it
Hmm.
will be in a solid form. We don't we will be not be adding certain spices or too much oil into that as we do
Hmm.
in our food, but
Yeah.
all the food stuffs can be given, every kind of food can be given to the child at 12 months of age, and this is the time when the maturation of gut can be considered completed. So
Okay.
if you follow these things, so there will be no constipation. Or if there is constipation, then follow these steps. You increase the fibers, you increase the water intake, and decrease the uh, milk intake. Then
Okay.
automatically your child will be having relief of constipation will be there. Now,
Hmm.
other thing is that they are very sorry. Just a second. So other thing is that what I was saying. Yes. Um,
In
Basically,
physical life. Yeah.
sorry.
Increasing fibers you were talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
If there is a
So
constipation, yeah.
basically, after relieving for constipation,
Hmm.
uh, these things have to be ensured. And the main thing is that when we introduce the complementary feed to the child,
Hmm.
initially, obviously, in first few days, the child will reject your food because this is a new food
Yes.
for him
Yeah,
or
yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah.
He will always like the milk, or she will always like the milk.
Hmm.
So you don't have to panic about in these situation that कि my child is not taking food और पता नहीं मेरा बच्चा तो कुछ खा नहीं रहा. But they keep on continuing on, and 6 months have gone, and then they come to 7 months, and still the child is on milk. They should
Hmm.
not be done like this. You don't increase the milk. You space up the milk duration. You keep the
Hmm.
hunger on with your child. If he doesn't take
Hmm.
feed, then you can wait for 4 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours
Hmm.
and make
Hmm.
the child more hungrier,
Hmm.
and then you can reintroduce the food or something
Hmm.
like that to the child, so
Hmm.
that he should try to take the food, and then after that you can obviously feed the child with milk.
Hmm.
And
But
don't go for artificial made formulas milk, which we it is very
hmm.
important that
Hmm.
artificially made formula based cereals and
Yes.
mixtures are provided very
Hmm.
easily, and
Hmm.
they are good, and they are palatable, they are tasty, and
Hmm.
thus the child automatically accept it and eats
Hmm.
very without getting any fuss, and the
Hmm.
mothers are very happy. But it
Hmm.
will come around after 1 year, when you will be trying your child, or 1.5 years you'll be trying for roti and sabji and
Hmm.
other leafy vegetables, then he'll reject it because
Yes.
the taste is not what he was expected, because the
Yeah.
taste of the marketed foods are made deliberately tasty so that the child
Yeah.
should take it. But that is not the right way to feed the child, because you
Hmm.
should go for the natural foods, and natural foods are best for prebiotic and probiotic, and
Hmm.
that's how you will make your gut system strong, and
Hmm.
you train your child to eat food naturally, so that
Hmm.
he will not be fussy later on. So this
So
is
the best idea is to keeping bad bacteria in check and
yeah,
maintaining a healthy gut.
yeah,
That is the thing. Because हम मॉम्स ने हमने भी किया है इनफैक्ट जब बच्चा नहीं खा रहा है चलो ठीक है दूध पिला दो कुछ तो
हाँ,
जाएगा पेट में
इस
तो इट
बहुत
इज
बहुत
टेंडेंसी
बड़े लोग भी यही कहते हैं कि दूध दूध
हाँ
तो कम नहीं करना है, दूध
दूध
तो
दे दो
पिलाना ही है।
दूध
आई
दे दो
ऑलवेज आई ऑलवेज एक्सप्लेन दैट कि जैसे कि बहुत लोग कभी कभी आते हैं कि मॉम्स भी आते हैं और उनके
हाँ
ग्रैंडफादर के पेरेंट्स भी आते हैं।
हाँ
तो इफ आई से कि दूध इतना कम करना है या दूध कम करना है, दूध ज्यादा नहीं देना है, दूध से दिक्कत है,
हाँ
दिल से कि ऐसा तो कभी नहीं था, दूध तो
हाँ
हम बहुत पिए, सबको
दूध
पिलाए,
हम
सबको बहुत अच्छे
दूध
से
पी
किया
के
है,
बड़े हो
और
गए
सब दूध पी पी के ही बड़े हुए हैं। तो उस समय ये भी था कि वो खाना भी खाते थे
हम्म
और दूध भी पीते थे। तो वो उस
राइट
समय that generation was not like this one कि
दैट
they don't
दैट
eat food or they are too much fussy. Now,
हम्म
one generation back the things were different, and
या
this generation the things are different. So
हम्म
right now you have to encourage that don't go for milk too much,
हम्म
go for food, because
हम्म
because of luxury things are changing,
या
and we
गेट
are
दैट
parting from natural ways and
हम्म
natural foods, but this
हम्म
should not be the way.
So, Dr. Divyak, this prebiotics, this is found in breast milk, right? So, other foods when we are eating, so this prevent gastric infections as well.
Yes, the role of prebiotic and probiotic or the gut microbiota. I'll tell you the roles. Now,
Hmm.
it is very interesting that first it will obviously it will ease the digestion of the food,
Hmm.
because it will help in the digestion, but
Hmm.
also it will fight with the pathogenic bacteria or bad bacteria which come
Hmm.
into the gut, and along
Hmm.
with our gut system, and they work very synergistically, and
Hmm.
also they make friends with the bad bacteria and keep them stay in the gut,
Hmm.
and make them work for us, so that it's like कि आप अगर गुंडे को दो सुना लो तो किससे डर है, so
Hmm.
it's
That's
like
quite
that.
right.
So
Hmm.
it actually functions in that way. So
Hmm.
playing in dirt or putting things in mouth is
Hmm.
is kind of putting bad or many things in mouth and
Hmm.
having some gut infections is a kind of blessing in disguise. So
Yeah.
ultimately it strengthens up our immunity. It introduces bad bacteria to
Hmm.
our gut, and
Hmm.
our gut accepts it and make friends with them, and they
Hmm.
get to be more immune with them, and then
Hmm.
our immunity improves. Now, the gut bacteria, the gut microbiota also
Hmm.
controls our behavior, also controls our intellect, IQ. It also controls our allergies. If you have
Hmm.
played into dirt and too much of things, and there are too much of pathogenic bacteria friends with your gut, then there are high chances that you will not have any allergies, and you will now not have tantrums in your teenage.
Hmm.
So these
Right.
things are decided in, yeah, actually these are clinically proven that these
Hmm.
things are decided in your first year of food. What kind of
Hmm.
food you eat. So
Yes,
this is very important.
we all understand this, but the this generation, it's really difficult to make them understand. Do you suggest what are the tips to ensure that they get soft stools, like they should not get constipated often? What
So
are the
that's the
prevention things?
same thing. You have to increase the water of the child. You have to
Hmm.
increase fibrous. You have to increase the fruits, and
Hmm.
if you are giving too much of milk, you reduce it. Or if you are giving less milk, also then also you can stop the milk also. It
Plus,
doesn't.
giving extra so much of milk also. I want to ask this for age group of 7 8 years child also. ज़्यादा दूध पीने से they also
Yes,
can get stomach
yes,
upset.
yes, yes.
अच्छा.
In 7 8 years also, we just recommend that one glass of milk is enough at the night.
Okay.
So you don't have to go for too much of milk
Hmm.
unless you are getting a good amount of fibrous diet and you are
Hmm.
taking a nutritious diet. If you are
Hmm.
taking a nutritious diet, then you can go for more milk, because
Okay.
the gut will be taking care of that food products. But if
Hmm.
you are not eating so much, or if you are not eating healthy things, then
Hmm.
taking too much of milk will create constipation.
Hmm. But you said a glass of milk in the night, so kids tend to drink milk in the morning when they're leaving for school
That's also
nowadays.
fine.
Yes.
It's also fine. It doesn't matter. Uh,
Okay.
in the night or in the morning or in the evening, whatever
Yeah.
the time is,
Hmm.
uh, or one or two glasses enough
Acha, okay. In a day, it's fine. Okay, one or
in
two
a day is
times.
fine.
All right.
Yeah,
Wonderful information. Everybody's so happy, and I think we should move to comments now. There are plenty of queries, and I'll be reading it to you one by one.
yeah,
You have cleared a lot of myths, in fact, which I also had. Being an admin, I also need to know, because there are times when people come to me and ask, and we do not, definitely we don't have answer. We are not miracle moms. We know we at times do not have answers.
yeah,
तो आपने
obviously.
बहुत सारे आज बहुत myths clear किए हैं. Okay. So first question, my son is 6 years old and has very poor digestion, and he is highly constipated and has very poor taste for food. His weight is just 18 kgs. What can I do to improve his condition? 6 years.
Okay. See, the main problem is his son would be definitely pampered and having must be having temper tantrums. I
Right.
am very sure about that.
Hmm.
Um, and the basic problem is that initially when the other thing I'll
Hmm.
start teaching, then I'll take too much of time. That from 4 months of age, the actually the baby starts sensing and gets knows that you are getting pampered, and
Hmm.
he says that. And after that, whenever he's just crying, nothing else we
Right.
do nothing. He'll
Hmm.
just cry, and whenever some if he cry, the other person comes and picks up in the lab.
Right.
And
Right.
after that, when he grows, now
Hmm.
this same thing will continue.
Hmm.
Now this will make the baby's psychology that whenever I cry, everything is
Hmm.
done wrong.
Hmm.
Now, as he grows up, this psychology tends to be more and more stronger, and he
Hmm.
will get more pampered. And he will shout or he will cry for everything, and you will,
Hmm.
because you are parent and you are soft hearted, you will
Yes.
fulfill his things because he is
Hmm.
crying too much. You cannot bear
Hmm.
that cry, or you cannot leave her
Hmm. Hmm.
in that situation. So this is the basic problem.
Hmm.
The Because of this, they don't eat well. They
Yes.
eat as per their convenience.
Yeah.
Now this is the basic issue.
Hmm.
ये नहीं होता कि moms they do not try. They try
Hmm.
too much. They
Yes.
should not try that much.
Hmm.
If the babies or the infants or the child
Hmm.
should be left alone, and
Hmm.
should be kept hungry in case if they are getting too much of their fussiness. If the fussiness is too much, then you should keep your baby hungry so that he must ask food for you to you, so that no, it's
मॉम
happened.
मॉम्स नहीं मानेंगी.
Yeah, this is the thing, and this is the only way you can, because punishing the child or by being rude to the child, it will not
Hmm.
solve the problem. By
Yeah.
force feeding, that this will, just imagine if anyone is forcing food in your mouth, you will throw it out and you will not ever again touch that food.
Right.
And
Right.
that
Right.
same thing occurs with the child also. If you're force
Hmm.
feed, he also or she also will hate the food. So don't force feed the child, and try to make them logically, like in this case, try
Hmm.
to make them logically explain these things, and try to ignore the pamperism or their fussiness, and
Hmm.
give rewards when they do the right things.
इनफैक्ट फॉर दिस क्वेरी आई जस्ट रिमेम्बर्ड योर लाइन कि अगर बचपन में नहीं सिखाया तो वो टीन टेंट्रम्स जो है वो स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे, तो ऑफ कोर्स शायद वो टेस्ट डेवलप ही नहीं हुआ है कि
नहीं,
मुझे खाना
वो
चाहिए.
कभी होता ही नहीं, वो कभी नहीं होता, ऐसा होता ही नहीं।
हाँ.
वो पहले से
राइट.
ही
सो
प्रॉब्लम होगी कि वो
क्लियर.
खाता नहीं है, और प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है कि वो पीडियाट्रिशियंस के पास जाएँगे कि आप भूख की दवाई दे दो।
भूख की
अब
दवाई.
आप
राइट.
भूख की दवाई दे दो उसके, या आप ऐसी दवाई दे दो कि वो ग्रो करने लग जाए। नाउ
हाँ.
दिस इज़ नॉट द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दैट, कि अगर उसका मन ही नहीं है खाने का, तो वो फिर उसका
हाँ.
मन नहीं बदल सकते।
इनफैक्ट मेरा
तो
अगला
इसीलिए
सवाल उसी से रिलेटेड है. किसी ने पूछा हुआ है, व्हाट फूड कैन बी गिवन टू इंक्रीज वेट ऑफ द चाइल्ड.
yeah, see, the food you have, you can give protein rich foods, and there are a lot of food. All the
हम्म.
protein rich food, soya beans or chicken or fish, if it egg, or if the
हम्म.
child is vegetarian, then soya, dal, chane,
हम्म.
rajma. There are a lot of things which are rich in
Yes.
protein. You can give
हम्म.
protein to make the weight increase. And for
हम्म.
immunity also, it is just fruits and fibers which increases the immunity, not
हम्म.
the medicines. There is no medicine which will increase your immunity. It is just fruits, fibers,
Yeah.
and green leafy vegetable which will increase your immunity. And I have already explained how it will increase the immunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. A proper
So,
diet is definitely required.
so these are the basic tips which you will. It's very simple. Everything will end up with same answers,
Hmm.
which I have already explained. So,
So there are many queries I see, और उन सब का मैं आपको बता देती हूँ ब्रीफ क्या है. सब लोग ये जानना चाहते हैं कि हमारा बच्चा वेजीज खाता ही नहीं है, सो व्हाट इज द सप्लीमेंट ऑफ इट. बहुत सारी क्वेरीज उससे
या
रिलेटेड है.
वेजीज
आप
के साथ प्रॉब्लम है। देखिए, अब क्या होता है कि इनिशियली अब अब जो बच्चा बड़ा हो गया है, अब उसकी ट्रेनिंग उस तरह से नहीं हुई है। अब जो न्यूली न्यूली मॉम्स बन रहे हैं, न्यू मॉम्स है टोटली,
हाँ.
दे कैन ट्रेन द बेबीज इन दैट वे। बट अगर
हम्म.
आपका बच्चा अभी ट्रेंड उस तरह से नहीं है, या उससे नहीं हो पाया, जस्ट नो, डोंट नीड टू वरी। You
या.
just have to make sure that you cut off the supply of outside food. You
हम्म.
cut off the supply of sugars,
हम्म.
and if you cut off, then don't revert back.
ये.
You cut it off, and if they have too much of pampering or too much of crankiness or too much of rigidness to that, then
हम्म.
let it. You
राइट.
have
राइट.
to.
हाउ डू दे नॉट नो कि वेजीज का टेस्ट अच्छा नहीं है या कैसे अच्छा है. ऑफ कोर्स यू आर राइट कि वो जब बाहर की चीजें कट होनी शुरू हो
बाहर
जाएंगी
की चीज
दिल.
आप कट कर दो, क्योंकि वो तो खुद से नहीं लेके आ रहा ना, आप ही ला के
हाँ.
दे रहे हो।
राइट.
You have to cut it.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful informative session, Dr. Divyank. I'm so happy that today we discussed a lot of things, and there are again few questions which I think I'll get back to these guys when they put it in the group, and we'll ask to you, and we'll give them in the writing. And thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
being a voice of expert. And Denon has got this opportunity to us. We're so happy to have you today. And
Thank you.
thanks a lot. It was good having
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Yeah. So, Mommy's World for You and Me is super happy today. So, we are ending this 2021, wrapping our uh, 2021. We are in the month of December, and what is the best way to end our this year, where we have seen lots of ups and downs, this pandemic and this corona, a lot many things happened, but we came out of it very happily. You put your queries in the comment section. I'll make sure that I'll get it answered from the doctor, and uh, you know um, to whichever you want to share this live with, please do. Please tag fellow moms. Make sure that everybody gets to know about prebiotics and the importance of breastfeed and healthy gut, keeping bad bacteria at the bay, and a lot of love. Do take care. Thanks for joining in. I'm so happy that I got to you here and you joined in for this session. This was a very insightful session. You all take care. I'll see you some other time very soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye. God bless.